You have been waiting. Waiting for the next thing to begin. Waiting for clarity. Waiting for the door to open. Waiting for life to make sense again. After everything that was taken from you. And in that waiting, there is a question that never fully goes away. Why is it taking so long? The Stoics had an answer that most people never hear. And it will change how you see every closed door, every empty space, and every person who was removed from your story before you were ready to let them go. Stay with me. There is a pattern that runs through every great life ever lived, a pattern so consistent that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Every person who ever built something extraordinary first went through a period of extraordinary loss. Not before the success. Not separate from the success. As the direct preparation for it. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers. Thrown into a pit. Sold into slavery. And imprisoned for years. Before he became the second most powerful man in Egypt. Marcus Aurelius lost his children. Buried trusted advisors. And carried the weight of a crumbling empire. Before he wrote the words that would outlast every emperor who came after him. Epictetus was born a slave. Beaten. Broken. Owned by another man. Before he built a school of philosophy that shaped the thinking of emperors and kings. The pattern is not coincidence. It is design. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, and do so with all your heart." But here is what most people miss in that instruction. If fate brings people to you, fate also removes them from you. And both the arrival and the removal are part of the same design. Think about the closed chapters of your life. The relationship that ended and freed you to become who you are now. The friendship that dissolved and created space for deeper connection. The opportunity that fell through and redirected you towards something better. At the time, every one of those closings felt like a loss. Looking back, every one of them was a door. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." But beginnings do not announce themselves. They arrive disguised as endings. As losses. As removals. As the things you grieved. That were actually gifts. The next chapter of your life cannot begin while you are still living in the last one. And sometimes the only way God or the universe, or whatever force governs this life, can move you forward, is to remove what was keeping you exactly where you were. The person you were clinging to was not just a relationship. They were an anchor. Not out of malice. Not because they were bad. But because the next version of you requires a different kind of companion. And that companion cannot find you while you are still holding on to who you were before the removal. Epictetus said, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life." This is not passive acceptance. This is the active recognition that what is happening to you is happening for you. That the removal was not punishment. It was promotion. Not to a title. Not to a position. To a version of yourself that the previous chapter was never going to allow. Here is what the Stoics understood about timing that most people miss. The next chapter does not open on your schedule. It opens when you are ready. And readiness is not something you feel. It is something that is built in you. Through the waiting. Through the loss. Through the silence. After the removal. Every day you spend in that silence. Wondering why nothing is moving. Something is being built inside you. That the next chapter requires. Patience you did not have before. Wisdom you could not have learned any other way. Strength that only comes from surviving what you thought would break you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The closed door is not blocking you. It is building you. And when the next chapter opens, and it will open, you will understand with complete clarity why every removal, every loss, every ending was not the universe working against you. It was the universe working on you. This is Stoic rules. Trust the removal. Trust the waiting. Trust that what is being built in the silence is exactly what the next chapter requires you to bring. Your next chapter is coming. And it is worth every closed door that led you here.